What is up, everybody? Today I'm going to be playing Secret of Evermore, but before I start, I want to take a quick look at the instruction book, which I still have. And let me tell you, they don't make instruction booklets like this one anymore. So right here on the cover, we've got Omnitopia, which is this gigantic space station orbiting a small planet. Because the world of Evermore is actually pretty tiny. It's this tiny little planet in space. So when you're looking at this picture, it seems like, wow, the space station's massive, but it's actually not. I think it's just the planet is very small. In any case, here we've got the dog, we've got the table of contents, and look at this. The instruction booklet actually explains what the story of the game is. I mean, nowadays you're lucky if you just get like a 3-page instruction booklet telling you how to jump and shoot. But back in the 90s and 80s, let me tell you, the instruction booklets, they had artwork, they had screenshots, they captured your imagination. Even something as simple as the control scheme. There's the toaster dog. You know, I'm really looking forward to playing this again. It's going to be a fun time. Here we've got a list of alchemy formulas. It is by no means exhaustive, but it's got a lot of the heavy hitters, a lot of the major alchemy formulas, which is pretty cool. And here we've got a list of alchemy ingredients. I think they're pretty much all accounted for here. What else do we have here? Magic of imagination. That actually describes this game pretty well. And here we've got the call bead summons for the various characters. We've got the hero, we've got the dog. Seen here walking on 2 legs. So wait a minute, the dog is walking on 2 legs. And the hero is standing here kind of slumped over wielding a bone. So it makes you wonder which of them is the more evolved. Ooh, weapons. This is actually a complete list of weapons in the game as far as I know. You have 4 of each. For some reason in the original game, you did not retain your weapon levels when you switched to a higher level weapon. Unlike Secret of Mana where you always retained your weapon levels. But I'm playing the re-edit of the game that actually fixes that issue. So you can retain your weapon levels even if you start using a new weapon, which means that, say you get the horn spear to level 2 so you can throw it, then you get the bronze spear. Back in the day, I would just keep using the horn spear. I wouldn't even use the lance. You know, maybe I'd use the laser lance a little bit, but for the most part, I would just use the horn spear for the whole game. But in this new hack of the game, I'll be able to actually upgrade my spear as I get it. Start using the bronze spear, you know, get a little bit of use out of the lance. It's gonna be pretty cool. Definitely fixes one of my peeves with the game, and hopefully it fixes quite a few. It's a very interesting re-edit from what I can tell. Here we've got a list of the armor, very exhaustive, some items, some rare items, and yeah, that does it for the Secret of Evermore instruction booklet. Very cool. 1995 Squaresoft. About as good a year as any company has ever had. So, what will be my name? Well, that's an easy one actually. I know what to do. That's right. I'm going to name my character after New York Senator Chuck Schumer. How'd you know? Actually, that's not correct. I think I might be spelling that right. Schulteheim of Suikoden fame. Suikoden. So this story takes place in Podunk, USA, which is an actual place, by the way, in fall 1965. A very strange time for America. Time of change. Time of turbulence and strife. Time of a lot of 50% off sales, apparently. Now, this is a game that I grew up with. Huge fan of this game. And I think I've probably played it a great many times now. Wouldn't be a bit surprised if I'd finished this game something like 7 or 8 times, which is a lot for me. So we have a mad scientist who creates a virtual world. And within that virtual world, there are a number of provinces. Each one is patterned after a certain era of Earth's history. And the scientist and his friends all get trapped in that world. And yes, a little bit of Alice in Wonderland going on here. And then we have our hero, who is basically Marty McFly. And he gets trapped in the virtual world with his dog Buddy, seen here. You know, I think it would have been cool if you got to play as the dog in like his normal form, his real form, for at least a portion of the game. By the way, this dog is terrible at tracking. Totally let that cat get away. Spun around, ran the opposite direction. Half of the opposite direction. So we got some creepy statues. I think the ones up top there are supposed to be sexy. There's a weird globe. And yeah, I don't like anything that's happening. Now, I don't understand the mummy, the chainsaw, and the balloon animal. Like, why would those things be just hovering around in this old mansion? Anywho, our hero stumbles upon the machine that sends you into this alternate world. And next thing we know, we have a game to play. Now, it's worth noting that I'm playing the balance patch version of this game. It's a fan-made patch that corrects a lot of the issues that the original had. Fixes weapon levels, so that's more like, you know, other games where you don't lose your weapon levels when you upgrade your weapon. That was probably the dumbest thing about the original version of the game, so I'm really looking forward to not having to deal with that this time around. It's also going to significantly cut down on the amount of grinding that I'll have to do in order to level up my weapons. So I might actually use my weapon upgrades now instead of defaulting back to Prehistoria weapons, just because they're the ones that are leveled up. Anyway, this strange butler right here is the villain, Carltron. He's a very bad man. Here's Professor Ruffelberg, the mad scientist who built this place. He's currently being swindled by his butler here. I think his butler might be a cyborg. Not real sure what the deal is there. So here the game gives you a bazooka, which is pretty awesome, but you only get to have it for like 2 minutes. And amazing battle theme here. One of many amazing battle themes in this game. Alright, so yeah, that concludes Secret of Evermore. Thank you for joining me. Very cool of you to be here, and I definitely appreciate the views. So like and subscribe, and join me next time for another game. I'm thinking about covering possibly Secret of Mana, maybe Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 13 maybe, World of Warcraft. Wait, hold on. The game is not actually over. Apparently there's more. I didn't realize. I thought this was going to be pretty quick. So yeah, the game's not over. I do not have my bazooka anymore though, so that's unfortunate. And my dog has become a gigantic prehistoric dog. How do we know this is actually his dog? This could be any random dog, you know. So right off the bat, we discover that the dog can actually find items for us, which is really cool. Oh, he's onto something. No, he's not. Can also fight the enemies for us. Very cool. And we got some roots. Excellent. What a fun little game this is. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of follow his nose, grab some items. Very cool. Alright, well, anything else? No? Nothing else? Okay. So we're going to move on then. Yeah, in any case, I'm playing the balance patch version of the game. A fan-made patch that corrects a lot of issues, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays compared to the Evermore that I'm used to from yesteryear, and so forth. It's not really going to be a speed run, but I'm also not going to be going slowly. I'm going to be trying to proceed at a fairly brisk pace because I don't want to have this take a zillion episodes. I want it to be, you know, fairly concise playthrough. So here we've got a boss fight that you do not need to win. Matter of fact, I'm probably just going to throw this fight. But first, I want to fix the windows because they're a little weird. Let's see. So I want to... yeah, that'll work. We could go with the Earthbound window right there. Yeah, that's the Earthbound window. I'll do that. Actually, you know what? We're not going to go with the Earthbound window. We're going to go with... I'm going to go with that one. And I think I might actually leave it blank. As far as the background goes. So, the Raptors get the better of our hero, and his faithful sidekick drags him back to town. And thus begins our adventure. And it is a fantastic adventure. I'm not sure if I'm down with the lack of background for these text boxes. I think it might make it a little harder to read. I'm not going to save my game just yet. So this guy basically tells you, go ahead and loot our village, just take whatever you need. Very nice people here. It's like Canada. Everybody's just very forthcoming with their goods. It's like in Iceland. You know, you walk into someone's house and have dinner with them. Yeah, the armor's all a little too expensive right now, but I shall return, possibly. Or I might just skip over this armor set and just go for the next one, depending on how quickly I progress with this first area. So now we're going to get some pretty kick-ass music as Fire Eyes makes her debut. It's kind of weird how they all chant for her, though. Schulteheim is my name. But what's the dog's name? We haven't gotten to name the dog. Sorry, I'm scrolling through the text really fast. Partly because I read really fast, and partly because I pretty much know everything that they're saying from having played this so many times. No, it's not original at all, actually, but yes, Suikoden. Shout out to Suikoden. Stolteheim Reidenbach the Fourth. So yeah, our hero just wants to go back to Podunk. And Elizabeth is like, well, you know, you're sorry, you're stuck here. But it's not so bad here. We live in the middle of nowhere, and there are dinosaurs trying to eat us. There's a massive spider that's like a mile long. And sometimes for fun, we go and we hang out in its corpse. You know, we just kind of climb on the corpse of this mile-long spider. It's really an interesting place, you know. Podunk's overrated anyway. I think we're just gonna stay here. Just gonna stay here and hang out. So there's two ways out of here. This way goes back to the raptors and stuff. Or not the raptors, but like that general area where you started the game. Alright, level 2. So we're moving on up. We're gonna need some levels to beat this game. You know, this is a Squaresoft game from 1995. We're talking a bunch of levels needed. So the problem with this current situation is that I'm not going to gain any weapon levels because of the dog. See how I hit something and then he goes in and finishes it off? That means no weapon level for me. So I have to wait for him to hit the enemy first, and then I can hit them and kind of level my weapon that way. So now I'm a little confused because I thought that you got hardball at the same time that you got flash, but I'm not seeing hardball there. So there are 3 different spots in this game where I like to stop and grind. You know, 3 different spots in particular. And this is the first of those 3. Because you kind of need some levels to really have a chance against the first couple of bosses. And also these guys drop petals, which lets you fill up very fast on healing items. So yeah, this is a perfectly decent spot to grind out some levels. And I'm going to do that right now. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be fast forwarding a little tad bit here as I build up my levels. Alright, so we're pretty much done grinding for now. I just have to find a way to revive this dog. I'm trying to find out exactly what the ingredients are for this. It looks like it's 1 wax and 2 oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a few more of those so that I can at least do a couple shots of this attack when I fight the boss. So problem is it's not very affordable at this point in time, so maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll just get some new armor and just stick to kind of a melee approach for this boss fight. It's not going to be easy. Matter of fact, this game, it starts out a lot harder than it gets. So it's one of those games that gets easier the further you go, I think. All of the boss fights that I have the most trouble with are within like the first couple hours of the game. So yeah, I have to take it pretty seriously, at least until I get through Prehistoria. Oh, as you can see, I got the Jaguar ring as well, which lets you zip all over the place, which is nice. Really nice little jingle for staying at the inn. Very pleasant. We're going to go ahead and save our progress. Yes, we are. I'm going to go ahead and record that. Alright, where's that armor guy? Because we're going to go ahead and buy some armor now. So we're going to start with the dog armor, because he only needs one piece of armor to be viable. So grass vest. Now, I'm no expert on Evermore. I'm not a speedrunner. I cannot recall what armor you find around this point in the game. I have a rough recollection that you get a bracer, though. So I'm not going to buy a bracer. I'm just going to wait and collect the one that drops in the field. And I think the grass vest will be sufficient for now for armor. Now, I need to check my weapon level, see how far along we are. So we're at 65% of the way to level 2. That's not bad at all. I would like to level up this weapon for the boss. But then again, I'm going to get an axe right after I defeat the boss. That'll be significantly better. So, it's not really necessary. Although, because I'm playing the balanced version of the game, my weapon levels will carry over to the sword in Antiqua, or Antiqua, as it may be. So it's definitely worth doing either way. Unfortunately, the dog just keeps kill stealing me. It's ridiculous. Alright, it is time to continue to the boss's lair. I don't know if I can defeat him at this point, but I'm going to try. Cool. Alright, so just doing a little bit of item scavenging, seeing what I can scrounge up. You do a lot of that in Secret of Evermore. A lot of scrounging. Looking for loot. I'm using a lot of short dashes, kind of make my way around a little more quickly. One really cheap thing you can do in this game is stun lock enemies with the boy while the dog unleashes hell, basically. Oh, this must be the hardball guy. Excellent. Oh, heavens no. So, Strongheart is the guy we have to rescue. He was wandering around the big bug in some kind of peyote haze when we got a little too cocked. Let's see, we need... What do we need? I would like to do a few rounds of hardball. I don't like that flash requires 2 doses of oil. It throws off my internal math. So we're gonna go ahead and buy crystal and clay. Wait, there's no clay for sale here. Oh, for crying out loud. Alright. You know, I'd much rather just have mana. You know, just like MP. Can I just have MP for my spells? So I guess because we have 5 clays, we have 5 uses of hardball, which is not going to be enough to really do much of anything to the boss. Oh well. I could get some ingredients for flash, but I'd rather save my money so I can buy that armor. Probably wrong about that though, because I really do feel like you get most of your armor from the field in this game, like as you go. So this is the giant spider skeleton. It's as gross as it sounds. Especially when you realize that you're basically entering this dungeon through the posterior region of the bug in question. It's quite unpleasant, actually. Man, I'm getting really boxed in here. What do I do? This dungeon has always confused me. Like, I've never figured it out. It's very odd. Maybe I need to leave the area and come back. Maybe I've just borked it. How is the Bone Crusher not level 2? Excellent. Perfect timing on that pedal. Oof. Great. And there goes half a pedal worth of HP right there. This should level the Bone Crusher. Nope, my math is off. 98. Any way I can respawn something over here? Does not appear so. That is unfortunate. Alright, time to get completely destroyed. Are you ready? Because I'm not. Let's do this. Wait, what? That wasn't the boss room either? Man, I feel like such a noob. For a guy who's played this game like 8 or 9 times, I really can't remember too much about it, it seems like. Oh, that was a cheap shot right there. Yeah, I remember this now. Forgot about the part where you go outside of the bug. Bone Crusher is now level 2. Excellent. Another aptly timed pedal. So let's see what we can do with this level 2 Bone Crusher. Very nice. A nice big swing, I like it. So my pedals should be maxed now. Might want to use one. I'm actually hoping for one last level up, though, before I fight the boss. Matter of fact, let's check the stats and see how far we are. 308 needed. Yeah, we're actually pretty far from a level, unfortunately. We need 308, and one of these guys... About to find out. One of these guys gives 4, so we're talking about a lot of fights here. And I was totally just thinking I need to use a pedal to heal before I pick that pedal up. Like, that thought was going through my head as I went ahead and picked up the pedal without using one first. Yeah. So I believe I already went this way. Just kind of respawning the enemies here. Don't know why. Maybe I'm hoping to get one more pedal. There it is. Alright, now let's get to the boss room without taking any more hits. Maybe one more level for the dog? Can I do that without taking any hits? Maybe. Eh. I'm just going to fight Thraxx as I am now. I think I can do this. I think I've got this under control. Alright, let's do this. I think this should have been the boss theme for a lot more fights than this one and the other one. It's just 2 boss fights that have this music playing. And yeah. This should have been like one of the 3 main boss fights kind of thing, you know? Alright, I need you to take care of these dudes, please. Thank you. Wait, what? What happened to all my alchemy? Am I taking crazy pills, or did I have like 5 shots of hardball before? 5 or 6. I definitely did. All my alchemy ingredients are gone. Oh, you know, I just realized something. If one were so inclined, I believe they could maybe farm these guys for experience. Although it seems like a terrible plan. Dog's about to need a heal. Ouch. The dog's dead. Dog is down. He is down. Wow, I am completely freaking stun locked here. I haven't been able to get a hit off. This is really bad. Oh man, I finally got a hit. Look at that. This is not going very well for me. Alright, Rhinebeck 4 reaches level 6. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this pedal over here. Wait, talons? No! We don't want talons. Yeah, get in there and attack that heart. What are you doing? What are you doing in there? Man. Somehow I'm not dead. I don't know how I'm not dead. This would be the point where I spam hardball on the hearts if I had any, which I don't for some reason. Seriously? This is really getting irritating. I'm gonna miss my opportunity to get in there and hit him. Ooh, 120, that was good. That was a good hit right there. Just really spam these pedals. This is one of the hardest fights in the entire game. Maybe the hardest fight in the entire game for the point that you do it. Whew. Alright, somehow survived. Don't know how. I mean, there are a couple of other fights that might be up there. Hard to say. So lots of exploding, and got a new axe. Maybe rescued Strongheart. And that's the beginning of Secret of Evermore. So thank you for joining me for part one. Part one! And tune in for part two, where you will see my new axe in action. I'm just like Gimli from Lord of the Rings. Alright, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.